G'day guys, John Cohen here, emergency doctor and part of the Surfing Doctors organization. Today I'm here to walk you through the brand new Shark Bite First Aid Slam Pack put together by Comaz First Aid, specifically for the Esperance crew and the Ocean Safety Group. It was super motivational to be out there with you guys in January running that Shark Bite management night, and a lot of what we've covered that night went into this pack. What we're going to run through today is what exactly is a First Aid Slam Pack, what comes in this particular kit, and then we're going to run through a scenario, shark bite management, when you might actually need this kit. First thing that you'll notice when you get this kit is that it's in a waterproof roll-top bag with no corroding parts. You've got a waterproof two-sided instruction card on the outside, one side giving you detailed instruction on shark bite management, and then the other side with some finer points on tourniquet action. When you first open up the bag, you're going to find three things inside. Two of them you're not going to need as part of the Slam Pack action, stuff you need beforehand. So this is a sticker, chuck on your car, chuck on your water ski, chuck it on your boat, let everybody know that you've got the tourniquets inside your vehicle. And then we've got the SWAT tourniquet. This is the one that we talked about in January that actually fits into the chest zip on your Weddy. So when you're offshore, you've actually got some tourniquet that you can use in the water, ready to go. Now to the Slam, this is what we need to do. So we've got it open. The third thing in there is a rolled up towel. And all that we need to do is turn it upside down, slam that puppy out. The first thing that you'll notice when you slam the pack open is that all of the instructions on shark bite management are printed in extra large font on the towel itself. You've got everything that you need in here, including a military grade, Australian government approved arterial tourniquet, 3 pairs of extra large heavy duty combat gloves, combines and bandage to cover up the wound, and then an emergency thermal blanket to help keep the victim warm. Now that we've talked about what a Slam Pack is and what comes in this particular kit, let's move on to how we use it. The first thing that I want to point out is that there's absolutely no point in having the kit if it's nowhere near that first point of contact with the shark. You really want to have this thing tucked away in the jet ski, on the boat, in the glove box of your ute, or even just under a towel on the beach. It's designed to be compact and extra rugged, and that's what it's there for. Secondly, if you're going to be more than a couple minutes from shore when you're swimming, surfing, or diving, strongly recommend bringing the SWAT with you in the water. It takes less than 5 minutes to bleed out from major limb hemorrhage, and if you're going to be that long away from shore, there's a good chance you could die before you even make it back to the Slam Pack. The faster that you can stop the bleeding, the better your chance of surviving, and if you do survive to hospital, the faster your recovery time is going to be after operation. That being said, let's run through a quick scenario and show how we use the pack in action. In the nightmare situation that a good mate or a loved one's been bit by a shark, is bleeding extensively from an arm or leg, the only thing you need to do is stop that bleed as fast as you can. This is the SWAT tourniquet, which you can keep in your chest zip when you're out in the surf. I usually have mine out of the package, but you can keep it in the package or out of the package. This one's been cooking in the back of my ute for months, and I still trust it to do its job. I'm going to run you through how to use this one first. So this is something that you'd have to be doing out in the water. And then we're going to run through bringing them back to shore and how we would use the Slam Pack in the event that that didn't fully stop the bleeding. Now the Stretch Wrap and Tuck Tourniquet is a military grade, Australian government approved arterial tourniquet. Do exactly what it says, stretch, wrap, and tuck. These rectangles, when you stretch this rubber band tight enough, turn into squares. And when they get that tight, you just keep wrapping, and that's going to stop the bleeding. After you've done as many wraps as you can, just leave a little bit of a free end so that you can tuck it back underneath. Now we would hope that the SWAT would do the job while you're out in the surf, but in the event that it doesn't for whatever reason, that's why you've got the Slam Pack here as backup. And that's the same thing the military do. If one tourniquet doesn't work, you chuck on another one just above it. So let's get into the details of the Comaz First Aid Shark Bite Slam Pack. All that you need to do if there's still some bleeding going on, you've made sure that your victim and yourself are out of immediate danger. If there's another person, they can apply direct pressure to the wound with a towel just to try to keep as much of that blood in as possible. You're going to undo the clasp, unroll the bag, turn it upside down, and slam it out. You're going to assess for life-threatening bleed. So if there's ongoing spurting, pouring, or if the blood's soaking through a wetsuit or through a towel or pooling up on the sand, If your victim's pale and drowsy, those are all signs of a life-threatening bleed, and you're gonna need to get this tourniquet on. You're gonna dry off your hands on the towel before putting on the extra large, heavy duty combat gloves. Keep yourself safe. What you're gonna do is you're gonna slide it over the end of the limb, slide it over the injury, at least 1 hand's width clear. Grab the free end, unrip the Velcro, pull it down as tight as you can. When it's tight enough that you can't fit 2 fingers underneath, it's tight enough. You just stick that Velcro down, and then you turn the metal rod in either direction a couple of turns. Usually takes about 3 turns until the bleeding stops, and then you secure it in the triangular metal clip. Once you've done that, just watch for another 10 seconds or so to make sure that you've fully stopped all of that bleeding. You're going to get these combines, which are basically just big absorbent dressings, just to cover up that wounds, keep things looking good, keep everybody from freaking out, and to keep that wound as clean as we can. Now we're just going to secure this into place with the bandage, just to help to keep that wound clean and to keep it out of sight from everybody, help everybody stay nice and calm. One last thing to do before calling 000, you can just throw the emergency thermal blanket on, help to keep the casualty nice and warm, cold blood doesn't clot. Now once you've done that, you can take your gloves off and call 000. They're going to need to know that there's been a major shark incident, your exact location, that a tourniquet has been put on just a couple of moments ago, and that you need evacuation and backup now. They're going to ask you some more questions, but you can pop them on speaker and you can get back to your friends and make sure that they're doing okay. The things that you want to check, that there hasn't been any rebleeding, and if there is, you just need to tighten that up, release that, and tighten it up another half turn and make sure that that bleeding stopped. Reassure them that the bleeding stopped and that help's on the way. Encourage them to take nice big breaths. They can rinse out their mouth with some water, but they probably shouldn't have anything to eat or drink. If at any point they lose consciousness, you should start chest compressions straight away. As long as there's no blood coming out of that wound, chest compressions can help to keep their brain alive until help gets there. Thanks for your time and attention today, guys. We've covered a fair bit of stuff, but it's really not that complicated. You're pretty much just trying to shut off the tap, stop that bleed until help gets there. If anything like this ever really does happen to you, the 2 main things that I'd just like to reinforce is to try to stay calm, breathe deeply. Slow is smooth, smooth is fast, and that's what these slam packs and ComAS First Aid are all about. With the ComAS Shark Bite First Aid Slam Pack, you've got the best quality hospital and military grade materials to deal with this particular situation. By watching the video, reviewing this card every now and again, and knowing that you've got all the instructions right here on the towel, you'll have the mental preparation and the gear needed to save a life. You'll be in a better position than any doctor, paramedic, or nurse, because you're right there when it happens.